So thank you everyone for being here. My name is Julie Ferrigno. I'm an application engineer at Henkel. I've been in the printed electronics industry for 15 years, almost. So first masterclass of the day, good thing I think, because it's a high-level presentation on inks and processes for printed electronics. So I don't know how many of you are very familiar with the printed electronics work. But yeah, I will, okay, let's go in. Agenda for today, very simple. I'll start with the brief history of printed electronics at Henkel. No worries, it's actually one slide. And another one explaining a bit what we define as printed electronics. Then we will deep dive into functional inks and review the capabilities and trade-off of the main printing technology. Not all of them, that would be a bit too much. And we'll finish by examples of application and what to take in consideration when you choose your ink, substrate, or printing process, depending on the app. So everybody, please meet Mr. Atchison. Thanks to him, I have a really cool job. So the PE product range started with Atchison colloids at Henkel. So Mr. Atchison was the inventor of synthetic graphite, which is used as a lubricant, release agent, and conductive material. And it developed into a small multinational, about 800 employees. We still have a facility at Skimda, Netherlands, in Europe. We still have employees there. And since 2008, Atchison colloid become part of Henkel. Of course, our entire portfolio, it's not only Atchison, it's also other products, but this is where it initiated. How we define printed electronics. So as an electrical device that has been made by using printing processes to apply functional coating, so mostly conductive, of course they're also dielectric to create a multi-layer circuit on various substrates. So in the picture you see a roll-to-roll process. It's on very thin and flexible material. You can print on different material now, also 3D surfaces. But it's mainly defined as thin and flexible electronics produced in high volume and lower cost. So what's the main driver for application of printed electronics? It's to incorporate more functionalities in smaller devices for reduced cost. It's also much more than that. You can view that as also a more sustainable process to produce electronic devices versus standard electronics manufacturing. Okay, let's start with the functional inks. This is how we define our portfolio at Henkel, starting with the standard ink portfolio. That will be the focus of the presentation today, and the functional ink portfolio. So what we mean by functional inks, it's the inks that have been designed for a specific task. Like for electrode inks, for example, the silver chloride is an ink that is used in medical devices, compatible with hydrogel, used for ECG electrodes, AKG electrode, etc. PTC ink stands for positive temperature coefficient. It's a type of material that is meant to self-regulate at a certain amount of temperature, so it was designed for that. And finally, EMI shielding paint that are used for so many different things. But for today's, we're going to focus on conductive inks, resistive inks, and a bit on dielectric inks. And I'll start now by explaining how it's composed, what makes an ink an ink. So you need the main three components would be first the pigments. So it will define the conductivity, the insulation properties if it's for dielectric, to create ink for resistor, capacitors, antennas, RF absorption or reflection. So what we call by pigment in the graphic world, it's obviously the color. In our case, it's going to be silver chloride, copper, carbon, or insulating material. Then comes the binder. Three main categories for binder: thermoplastic, thermosetting, and UV curable. So it will define the adhesion, the cohesion, flexibility, etc., and chemical resistance, environmental resistance of the ink. And finally, the carrier. It can be solvents or water. We have carbon water-based material, and it's meant to dissolve the resin, maintain the pigmented suspensions, help with the drying process, define the drying speed, and the compatibility with the substrate. But this slide is really to show you that all these components just alone are not very unique. What